Hello, this is George LeMieux, the privilege of being the chairman of the board of the Gunster Law Firm, and we're here today with my friend, José Cil. José is the CEO of Restaurant Brands International. José, thanks for joining us on Gunster's View from the Top.
Hey, George, thanks for having me. Really proud to be here and share some time with you, and congrats on all your success.
Well, thank you. Great stories that José and I were summer associates together in a law firm in Miami 25 or so years ago. So it's great to see all the success that you have. Let me say a little bit about your background. You're the CEO, as I said, of Restaurant Brands International. Before that, you were the president of Burger King. And in your prior roles, you served as the executive vice president and president of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa for Burger King. And you also spent some time as the vice president and regional general manager for Walmart stores in Florida. You are a Florida born and bred Miami native, which is always great to see. And just so that our viewers know, Restaurant Brands International is the holding company that oversees Popeyes, Tim Hortons, and Miami's own Burger King. So it's a great privilege to have you with us here this morning.
Thanks so much, George. Yeah, we have three amazing iconic brands. We have actually over 27,000 restaurants, Burger King, Popeyes, and Tim Hortons around the globe in more than 100 countries and territories. So it's been it's an amazing opportunity and privilege for me to represent all those franchise owners that own the restaurants. They're small businesses. We have more than 10,000 restaurants in the U.S. with Burger King, Popeyes, and Tim Hortons. We have more than 750 in Florida, and all of our franchisees are small businesses. They're in our local communities, and so I have the privilege and honor to represent them in everything I do, and it's a tremendous responsibility that I take seriously and I'm very proud of.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job. The question that's on my mind, I'm sure on the mind of our viewers, is how are your restaurants doing with this pandemic? What's the process been like for keeping your employees and your customers safe? Walk us through that, if you will.
Yeah, it's been an incredible process for us. Obviously, we have, with the presence we have globally, we started to see COVID-19 pop up in Asia and China in particular. So we have about 1,300 restaurants in China, and in January, just before the beginning of Chinese New Year, we started to see case counts in Wuhan and the Hubei province, and we started to see the impact that was having on the business, and we worked closely with our franchisee there to close restaurants, and in many cases shift our business to off-premise delivery and other modes of service. And one of the things we did there very quickly was put heightened safety, hygiene procedures in place to ensure we were protecting our employees as well as the team members. So when we started to see this kind of move west into Europe and then into North America in early March, we were already experienced with some of the different processes that were necessary to address the concerns that people had given the kind of the expanded growth of COVID-19. What we did in the U.S. When it came, and this is kind of mid-March when everything started to shut down, we put heightened safety and hygiene procedures in place. The first priority for us was to make sure we were protecting our team members and then our guests. Collectively, you can't just focus on one or the other. You've got to take care of your team and you got to take care of the guests and really create a level of trust and confidence in safety in the restaurants to be able to ensure that we were able to keep operating in a difficult environment. We also spent quite a bit of time with local, state, and federal government trying to explain the value and the benefits of our business, that it was an essential service at a difficult moment as the economy was shutting down, because the grocery business alone wouldn't be able to sustain the demand that was out there for the consuming public. So if you think about the food business in the U.S., it's over $1 trillion business. Half of it is grocery, but half of it is restaurant. So shutting down the restaurants completely would have had a tremendous negative impact on communities and consumers alike. And so we felt it was necessary and essential to keep our business open, at least off-premise, while we work together to flatten the curve and ensure safety and security of all team members and guests and the public at large.
So the drive-through's always been a huge part of your business, but now, wow, essential to have a drive-through. That's got to be something that you think about now going forward. Is in this world where we may have more of these pandemics, is the drive-through is just a perfect way to deliver your food products to your customers.
Yeah, it's incredible because this is something that was developed in the 70s. So the drive-through became part of Americana, and then eventually became a global phenomenon. But it started in the 70s, and this is, no one really thinks about the value and the benefit of drive-through. It's just in the U.S. Across the country, it's a convenience. It's a way for people that have reduced time. To have a meal, a good meal, quickly and conveniently, and you don't have to get out of your car. So we take it for granted. But in a moment like this, where we also enhanced our procedures, included contactless procedures. We actually had to go out for the first time in a long time to communicate in our mass marketing and communication. We went out to the public and shared for the first time in probably 30 years the benefits of drive-through. We kind of walk through what we do, how we handle the product, that we enhance the procedures to ensure that we minimize contact. Everyone's wearing gloves as they usually do, but also masks and different procedures to ensure that folks felt comfortable that the experience that they would have in the drive-through would be minimal in terms of contact, and allow them to enjoy the great tasting meals safely and responsibly. So it was definitely a wake-up call for all of us, and our marketing teams did an incredible job of pivoting quickly to share those messages and the benefits of drive-through, and our franchisees and team members that we have across the country did an amazing job of executing well and ensuring people felt safe and comfortable enjoying the food through the drive-through.
Jose, do you see these changes that you've made and that have been made in the whole QSR industry, are they going to stick now, even when we're past the pandemic? Do you think that there's going to be a different way that people approach restaurants? Is there going to be a different way that restaurants approach their customers?
Yeah, I think we were already going through a pretty significant transformation in the restaurant business. I think we refer to on-premise as dining in, and then off-premise, anything where you pick up the food or receive the food and enjoy it off the restaurant premise. So drive-through was already a pretty significant business for us in the U.S. For Burger King, it's nearly 70% of our business through the drive-through, high 60s, and it was growing. We've also seen tremendous growth in our delivery business. So we've continued to evolve our digital capabilities, and now we have the ability to serve customers through delivery, whether it's through a third-party aggregator like Uber Eats or Grubhub or DoorDash or Postmates, but as well you can order delivery through our own apps, our own native apps. So you can go to Burger King, Popeyes, or even Tim Hortons, and you can order through the app, and then the last mile delivery will be done by one of these third-party delivery companies. So we've been evolving our off-premise capabilities. Drive-thru has been a core competence for us for a long time, but delivery has become a stronger part of our business. Curbside pickup as well, and so I think these changes with people using technology to interact with brands and also minimize cash usage, as well as be able to kind of get their orders placed early, and then you can pick it up either through drive-through, through delivery, or through a curbside. I think these changes were already happening. They just kind of went on hyper speed during the last 90 days of the crisis, and I think they'll be a significant part of the business going forward. I think the other piece that's really important that's been happening already, but also became much more important, is transparency in terms of how brands take care of their team members, the safety procedures that they have in place, quality of the food, the transparency in terms of ingredients that brands are using. These things were things that were already happening, but in the environment now that we have people having more time to kind of study and understand where they want to dine, that the brands that do that best are the brands that are going to be really successful long-term post-COVID.
That's a great point. And it makes me think too that there's often dislocations after, economic stress like this, and that it would seem to me that incumbent brands like the three brands that you run have a strong position now in the marketplace. It would be, you're trusted, you've got these procedures in place, your employees know what to do, your customers have something to expect. I would think that going forward for companies like yours, it's only going to strengthen you in the marketplace. New entrants it seem to me, would have a very tough time catching up in this kind of environment.
Look, I think new entrants will always have a place. If you think about this, as well as incumbent brands, I think the brands that are going to do best going forward are the brands that do the things that drive people to restaurants best, right? So I think first and foremost, you have to have great tasting food or beverages, whatever your specialty is. And for us in Tim's, it's coffee and baked goods and breakfast, but at Burger King, it's burgers, and at Popeyes, it's great chicken, including great chicken sandwiches. But whatever it is that you do in the restaurant business, you need to be exceptional on the product side. I think that's a core tenet. You need to do that well, and I think going forward, brands have to have a strength in product quality in order to be successful, whether you're a startup or you've been around for a long time. I think second, being able to provide food conveniently is critical, especially in the quick service, limited service business that we're in. And we've done that historically quite well. And I think evolving to off-premise business of delivery plus curbside pickup and having super technology that reduces friction and makes it easy for consumers and guests to enjoy the brands their way and pay without having to take out cash. I think those technology elements are really critical. We've innovated a ton in that area. We've been doing it for the last couple of years, and I think we've seen the benefits of that, especially in the environment we're in. And I think the third piece that's really important here is trust and confidence. So brands that bring a level of security, safety, and just confidence that you're always going to have a great tasting meal. You're going to be served well. People are going to take care of you, and you can trust the quality of the food you're eating and the security of it. I think that's always been a part of it. We take it for granted, but it's that much more important in the environment we're in. And going forward, it'll be even that much more important. So we're well positioned. We think we have three amazing brands with great franchisees and team members to be successful for many years to come. We're investing in the things that we think are important in the business, including technology, quality of food, and just great marketing and design to ensure that people feel good about the experiences in our restaurants. Safety and security has always been top of mind and a top priority, even more so today and I think tomorrow. So that's the focus I have with my team and the franchisees in the US, in Florida, in Miami, and across the globe. And it's something that I'll continue to really focus on and prioritize as we move forward.
Well, that's very helpful and really, I think, will be of interest to our viewers. I have to ask you before we leave this morning's interview, you've been a real innovator in marketing in your companies with the Popeyes Chicken Sandwich Challenge and with the OK Google, what is the Whopper Burger, and other things that you've done. How do you stay innovative in the way that you approach customers when we're dealing with a crisis like the one that we're dealing with now?
Yeah, look, our teams have done an exceptional job. I think the most important thing in a business like ours that in addition to kind of the basic blocking and tackling that I talked about, that's critical: great food, great experience, great service, and convenience. The starting point of all of this and continuing to grow and innovate is having great people. So we have an obsession. We always refer to it as an obsession. It's a healthy obsession, but it's an obsession nonetheless with talent and really continuing to develop our own teams at Burger King, Popeyes, and Tim's, and at RBI. This is something we take very seriously, something I put a ton of energy and effort behind as the leader of the company. And we have a process for bringing in talent from universities, from MBA programs, as well as external talents to address gaps that we may have in the company. But having a great team that's super engaged, motivated, and excited to be part of something big, special, bigger than any one of us, right? A vision and a kind of a purpose that we have to build the most loved restaurant brands in the world. For us, it kind of inspires the team to do great things. It challenges everyone to go further. It's the sort of purpose that gets you up in the morning before the alarm goes off, and I think that's what's most important here, right? The brands that we have have been around and have been successful for many years because of the people that have worked to make them great. And my focus as a leader for this company and this brand and taking it to the next generation is ensuring that we have amazing talent, super motivated and engaged, doing great work to continue the growth of these brands long term.
Well, thank you, Jose, and thank you for all of the people at your brands who've been out there working while we've been going through this pandemic. It's needs to be reiterated that we couldn't have done it without the folks that were in your restaurants who were serving us. Like you said, half the food comes from restaurants, and with all the restaurants that were closed, they really performed an essential function, and it was really amazing that could happen in our community. So thank you for that, and thank you for being part of Gunster's A View from the Top today.
Thanks so much, George. Appreciate the opportunity and all the best.
Take care, Jose.
Take care.